It is the time of year where families like Julie Chrisley's crew love to give back. The Chrisleys, consisting of Patriarch Todd Chrisley and children Grayson, Chase, and Savannah Chrisley, are always happy to share their Christian values. This year, Julie, Chase, and Grayson are using their star power to help those in need and give back to their community. The Chrisleys are always happy to give back. They curate a box of gifts each year that only features companies that do good and give back in big ways. This is only one way that they are involved in charities. There are lots of others. Chase has a candle line that made a point to release a candle for breast cancer awareness. Julie Chrisley posted a picture on her Instagram of her, Chase, Grayson, and a few others holding Merry Christmas signs. Julie said, "Thank you so much @woman.like.you for letting us join you today. A huge shout out to @Tennessee Alliance for Kids for all you do. The charity is for children who might go into foster care, something that is near and dear to the families' hearts. They care about children in need. This charity helps them get the proper care while staying safe with their families. The organization helps children who are at risk of going into foster care and those who are aging out of foster care." The woman they joined, Jennifer Reed, shared what a blessing it was to be there for the Tennessee Alliance for Kids toy drive on her Instagram as well. She said, "Thank you to my sweet friend who has the biggest heart," and literally said, "What can I do to help you, and what time should I be there?" Julie Chrisley's fans love that the family wanted to give back for the holiday season. One said, "Aw, super people with super big hearts." Another said, "This is so wonderful. What a blessing to be able to help these precious, beautiful children." Fans also love to comment on her kids. One fan said, "Chase, you've grown so tall so fast. You look down on Mama now, Daddy too, probably." Another said, "Oh my goodness, Grayson Chrisley is so grown up. What a great cause." The event was able to give 150 children treats and toys. They also were able to meet up with Santa Claus to tell him what they wanted for Christmas. Read about Todd Chrisley's savage clapbacks here. What do you think about the family giving back for the holiday season? Comment with your thoughts below. The December morning sun sparkled over Nashville like someone had shaken a snow globe, and Julie Chrisley stood at the community center with a clipboard and a mission. The Chrisleys were officially volunteering for the annual Holly Hearts Toy Drive, and Julie was determined that they'd make the biggest impact in town. "This is not a competition," Julie reminded herself out loud, glancing at her watch. "But if it were, we'd win." Across the parking lot, Chase Chrisley emerged from his car, wearing a Santa hat and a grin that said he'd stopped for coffee and compliments. "Hey, Mom," Chase called, balancing 3 lats. "Is this the part where we selflessly give back while also looking Instagram-worthy?" Julie gave him the classic mom look, equal parts love, disbelief, and a warning. "Chase, we're geared to help, not pose. But both can happen," he replied, handing her a coffee. "Merry early Christmas." Right behind him was Grayson, the youngest Chrisley, with his hoodie up and a skeptical glance toward the growing crowd of volunteers. "I thought this was just sorting toys," he muttered. "Why are there news vans?" "Because," Julie said, flipping to page 2 of her clipboard notes, "this toy drive is one of the biggest in Nashville. They need help organizing, wrapping, and distributing over 10,000 toys to children in need. And we are honored to be a part of it." Grayson exhaled. "So, like we're the elves?" Chase sipped his coffee. "You're the elf. I'm more of a cool Santa's consultant." Julie waved them both toward the large loading dock where pallets of unwrapped toys were stacked sky-high. "Let's get to it, gentlemen." Inside, the community center buzzed with festive chaos. Volunteers in reindeer antlers hauled toy bins, while kids ran around shrieking with excitement. Julie made a beeline for the check-in desk. "I'm Julie Chrisley. These are my sons, Chase and Grayson. We're here for the toy organization shift." A woman in a red sweater beamed. "Oh, the Chrisleys. You're assigned to sorting zone B. That's the tricky one. A lot of odd-shaped toys and, well, some assembly required." Julie turned back to her boys. Perfect. We'll make it shine. Hour 1. The chaos begins. Sorting Zone B. The Chrisleys found themselves surrounded by boxes labeled May SC, handle with care, and toys that make noise. Grayson lifted a toy keyboard from a box and pressed a key. The tinny melody of Jingle Bells blared at full volume. Greet, he said, wincing. We're in the musical instrument. Don't be dramatic, Julie said, already organizing toys by age group. Chase picked up what looked like a DIY robot kit and squinted at the 72-page instruction manual. This isn't a toy, it's a semester of engineering school. Stop complaining and start sorting. Grayson dropped a rubber chicken into the bin labeled 3 to 5 years. It squeaked in protest. Just once, he said. I want to volunteer for something quiet. Like planting trees. Trees don't sing. But despite their grumbling, the Chrisleys found a rhythm. Chase unpacked boxes, Grayson sorted and tested toys, with minor sound-related injuries, and Julie kept them on track like a toy drive general. Hour 3. The wrapping disaster. After successfully sorting hundreds of toys, the Chrisleys were moved to the gift wrapping station. This is where the magic happens, Julie said, rubbing her hands together. We wrap every gift with care and label it with love. She folded her first corner with the precision of a Navy officer. See? Tight corners. Crisp edges. Chase's first attempt looked like the gift had fought back and won. Wrapping paper was bunched like a sad burrito. How do people do this without scotch taping their fingers together? Grayson, who had given up on the bows entirely, wrapped 3 presents in plain brown paper and drew smiley faces on them. It's minimalist, he explained. Julie sighed. Let's just focus on the kids, not the aesthetics. But the wrapping room had a magical energy. Volunteers sang carols. One woman had brought cookies, and a child in a Santa suit handed out candy canes like a tiny CEO. At one point, Chase started impersonating Julie's volunteer voice, and Grayson filmed it for potential social media blackmail. Hello, friends, Chase mimicked. We're here to spread cheer and micromanage joy. Julie gave him a light whack with a roll of ribbon. Hour 5. A special delivery. As the day wore on, the toy drive coordinator burst into the room looking flustered. Hi, sorry to interrupt. We just had a last-minute request. A local shelter had more children arrive today than expected. We need a volunteer team to deliver toys across town ASAP. Julie was already stepping forward. We'll go. Chase blinked. We will. Grayson shrugged. Do we get to use the toy drive van? You get to drive Christmas, Julie told him. Moments later, the Chrisleys were on the road in a red delivery van full of joy. The GPS beeped and pointed them toward the shelter. In the back seat, Chase held a clipboard of names. Okay, we've got a 6-year-old named Lily who likes dolls, an 8-year-old into dinosaurs, and a toddler who's just into everything. Grayson was surrounded by wrapped gifts. I feel like Santa in a cargo van. When they pulled up to the shelter, kids were waiting by the door, wide-eyed and bouncing with excitement. Julie took a deep breath. Let's go make some memories. The moment that mattered. Inside the shelter, the Chrisleys handed out gifts one by one. The room filled with gasps, laughter, and hugs. One little girl in a polka dot coat took a wrapped box from Julie and said, "You look like a mom." Julie smiled, heartwarming. That's because I am. The girl hugged her tightly. Chase handed a dinosaur toy to a boy who roared in response and chased Grayson down the hall. Grayson, normally so low-key, laughed as he ducked behind a chair. He's got T-Rex energy. One of the shelter workers approached Julie quietly. A lot of these kids haven't had a real Christmas in years. You being here, it means more than you know. Julie nodded, eyes damp. It means everything to us, too. Their ride back as they drove home. The van was emptier, but their hearts were full. That, Julie said, was what Christmas is all about. Chase looked out the window. I haven't felt like that since I was a kid. It's like we gave out joy and got it back double. Grayson was quiet for a moment. We should do this every year. Julie smiled. That's the plan, honey. Epilogue. The Chrisley claws back home. The Chrisleys sat on the couch, surrounded by leftover bows and candy canes. I think we started a new tradition, Julie said, sipping hot cocoa. The Chrisley claws. Every year, we volunteer. No excuses. Chase raised his mug. To giving. Grayson raised his. To surviving musical rubber chickens. Julie laughed. To family. And somewhere in the city, kids were unwrapping gifts, laughing, and feeling a little less alone, thanks to a family who came to sort toys and ended up delivering Christmas.